Investing can be a little intimidating at first. Okay, a lot intimidating. I came into it knowing nothing, which I actually consider a failing on the public school system and college, but thank the Lord I know what a mitochondria is, right? I'm Sarah, also known as Budget Girl here on the internets, and I believe that you can meet all of your money goals and build your very best life with the aid of a budget. I make videos every single week on how to manage your money, pay off debt, and live the life of your dreams on less. If you'd like to learn how to level up with your money, I'd love it if you subscribed to join the Budget Fam. And if you like wealth building, go ahead and like this vid. My parents also didn't invest. My mother stayed at home with health issues, and my father was a military lifer. He was dependent on the government retirement and healthcare systems for all of his lifelong care and financial needs. I'm not a big fan of that. So here's what I'm doing for my current personal wealth building. I chose not to go into the military, but I do have a government job at Texas A&M University. If I choose to work here or in some similar government career, I could retire after about 30 years of service or at age 65 and qualify for Teachers Retirement System benefits. I'll get back what I put in regardless, and TRS is matching funds after X number of years, but I won't qualify for a full pension unless I put in a certain number of years. That just doesn't sound great to me. I don't love the idea of being dependent on any organization for my wealth at retirement, and I don't like the idea of being stuck within a certain system for a certain number of years. My current job is the first one where retirement was even offered to me, as I spent the past 10 years in journalism, well known for lacking traditional benefits. Coming from that background, I was already used to the idea of being responsible for my financial future, and I really liked the flexibility of being able to move, change careers, or possibly being able to retire early. That means one simple thing. I need to build my wealth independent of my employer's plan and the retirement system, which means I need to invest. Savings is so great, but it's very hard to build wealth at 2% or less interest. Investing has its risks, but is historically a great builder of wealth over the decades. I'm currently contributing 7.7% pre-tax of my main job's income to a teacher's retirement account, which they match to a certain point, and another 7.3% into a Roth IRA, which is post-tax, and I set that account up myself. I'm also experimenting with some other small percentages of my income in investing in various stocks, bonds, ETFs, and mutual funds through various robo-advisors and sites like Robinhood and Acorns, which I'll get into later if you guys want. More on all that as I master it and have advice backed with facts and experience to give. So what are robo-advisors? For the bulk of my investing, I've chosen to use primarily robo-advisors, which are online services that use computer algorithms to build and manage your investment portfolio. They require very little human interaction, score, and you set your risk preferences, time you plan to invest, and other preferences, and the computer builds the rest. They're great when you want help choosing investments and managing your portfolio, but don't have the knowledge to do it yourself. Personally, I have no interest in picking and purchasing a lot of single stocks and bonds, nor the knowledge to make that a wise choice for me. At the same time, I do not want to pay to hire a personal financial advisor, aka a human, who does have the knowledge to pick my investments because they're expensive as heck. Some personal financial advisors charge an annual fee plus a percentage of your assets that they manage, and the medium is around 1%, but it can range higher for small accounts or lower for big ones. I talked to one who wanted to charge me 5%. Some advisors now require that new clients have a balance of $250,000 to begin with. Don't got that. But you can also find financial advisors that charge a flat rate or hourly fee. On the other hand, robo-advisors charge fees from 0.25% to 0.89% of the amount managed. So for the beginner investor with smaller amounts of money to invest, robo-advisors make a lot of financial sense, especially if you have 20 plus years to invest like I do, have a simple portfolio, and not a lot of investment knowledge. Check, check, checkity check for me. There are also a lot of them. Some of the big names include Betterment, Wealthfront, Wealthsimple, Ellevest, etc. They all have different fees and risk preferences and account minimums, but are all good options. They also all invest in slightly different things, so mutual funds, ETFs, stocks, bonds, etc. So how do you start investing, and how do you know how to start? First off, learn from my mistake. I spent months procrastinating on investing. I was trying to learn everything I possibly could about everything that has to do with investing, which is impossible. I fell prey to decision fatigue, information overload, imposter syndrome, and a couple other things before I figured something out. And that is, one of the best ways to learn about investing is to invest in something. Seriously. A lot of things became very clear once I opened a couple of accounts, deposited some small amounts, and just watched them. Suddenly, all the stuff that I had read clicked, and I was an investor. It doesn't matter if I know everything. No one can. Don't try to learn everything. It's futile and is against my basic instincts, but it's true. A quick note, I do not recommend investing while you're in debt. My personal financial strategy was to pay off all of my debt, save an emergency fund, and then invest to build wealth. If I lose my shirt investing, I have no debt, an emergency fund to fall back on, and I'll be okay. It's also very unlikely that I will lose all my money investing, even if there was another stock market crash, as I've diversified my portfolio and I'm a fairly cautious person. Also, if you wouldn't guess, I absolutely do not recommend taking on debt to invest. That's about the dumbest thing you could do. Once you've chosen one or a couple low-fee places to invest, do it. It's seriously the best way to learn, and it's actually a lot of fun. Especially compared to watching your savings accounts grow at a paltry 1 to 2%, it's so cool. If you're still scared to pull the trigger, another recommendation I have is to watch how other people's money does. There is a whole community of financial bloggers and YouTubers who track their investments and put those numbers out into the universe. So if you're interested in seeing how their money does in any particular place, that info is available. I do know that that can also seem a little intimidating, especially when you may not see how much the blogger or vlogger is contributing. Also, as you don't have skin in the game for other people's investments, that can get a little tedious. See information overload. It also leads to procrastinating. But, huzzah! My friend and YouTuber Jeff Rose is leading an online challenge this year that makes it crazy easy to compare how investing in the different platforms stacks up. In the Grow Your Dough Challenge, a group of bloggers and vloggers invested $1,000 at the beginning of the year in whatever platform they chose and are tracking it through to 2020. These investors, including me, will show you how different investment plans and robo-advisors, as well as their associated fees, stack up throughout the year and in the same market and time frame. Because we're not continuing to invest after the original $1,000, it will be very clear how the different choices that we make and the market affect our original investment. I absolutely love an even playing field and clear results. For my part in the challenge, I worked with the robo-advisor Ebates, and you can see how I chose them, how I allocated my funds, and how my investment is doing in the video that I will link down below. In the meantime, I encourage you to pull the trigger and invest if you're debt-free and in that stage of your money journey. Use one of the platforms my fellow challengers is using, or mine, or even one that you find yourself. You can always pull your money out and try something different if you don't like it. But I promise you, you'll learn a lot more actually investing than researching it to death. Check out the other participants below. I'm especially interested in watching Justine from Debt Free Millennials' investment. She's using Betterment, which is a robo-advisor with an identical fee structure to Ebates, which is what I'm using, but her allocations are vastly different. So far, she's killing me in returns, but we have a whole year left. I would love to know, what are you investing in this year? Do you have an employer-matched retirement account, a Roth IRA, or other investing accounts? And what do you want to learn more about this space? Because I'd love to provide some of that information for you. This has been a really fun thing for me to play with, and I feel so much more adult now, and like I have a grasp of this world that I had no idea about before and wasn't prepared to be in, but am glad that I finally pulled that trigger. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned a little bit about investing in general and what robo-advisors are and why you might want to use them. This video is not sponsored in any way, but if you would like to check out the other video that I did for the Grow Your Dough Challenge, that one is sponsored by Ebates, and there is a code for some free money if you want to invest with them. No pressure. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you liked learning more about investing, I would love it if you hit that like button And if you'd like to learn more about managing your money, paying off debt, or building wealth to live your best life, I'd love it if you subscribed. It really helps my channel so much and encourages me that I'm not just sitting in a room talking to a camera, I am actually helping people. All right, I'll see you guys next time.